Hello guys, can you hear us?
Okay.
All right. Like, are there any more guys who are waiting or like finding any problems?
Now it's working smoothly.
Yeah, now it's working smoothly.
All
Okay,
right.
so
All
we
right.
can get started.
In case anybody is facing problem, you can just copy the link and share it so that we can still get started and continue. Right. All right. So what we can do is like what you can do is all of you can go on mute so that I mean there's no noise. Okay, let's start. Yeah. So first of all, congratulations for all the ASU MSBA admits, and of course you're going to have the best 9 months of your career in terms of academics and then new learnings and so much exciting stuff for sure. So I mean we have set of questions that have been which are collected, which have been compiled, and then we three of us will try to answer most of like as much as we can. So this is me, Shaunak Bangale. Then this is Ayushi Agrawal
Hello.
and Neeraj. He's just coming. So
We'll start with the first question.
yeah, so we can start with the questions. So am I audible first of all again?
Just hold on. I think Divya is calling. She's sitting. She can't hear us. Just take once.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, she's on call.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think we'll just wait for a minute because.
You wanna wait?
Yeah. So we actually got a call from Divya and she mentioned that she's not part of this broadcast. So we are just trying to help her out and just see if you can help your folks around to join this link and the broadcast.
Hello guys. So I think some of you are still facing problems. You can just copy the link and share with others so that everybody can join. I was introducing like three of us. I'm Shaunak. This is Ayushi Agrawal.
Hey.
And this is Neeraj Madan.
Hi.
So all of us are from the ASU MSBA 2015 class, and we're still here. Like some of us are still waiting to move out of the city. We can get started with the questions. So one of the questions from Shruti was about capstone project. So everybody seems to be like curious and excited about the project, which is due in the second semester. I mean, the exciting journey starts in the first semester, and the project comes in second semester. The question was, what exactly is the capstone project all about? Topics that can be chosen for the project, duration of the project, is it a group project, any prerequisites, skills required for the assignments, like programming skills, and then any clubs that we can join. So I think Neeraj can be the best person to answer this. Neeraj?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So how I see or how we see the capstone project is that many of us who are joining this program, some are from analytics background and some are not, and they're actually planning to make a career in analytics now. So, and I hope, am I audible? I think if you can just one of you say, one or two of you say yes, I think then we're good to go. So are we audible? Okay, great.
Yeah.
So as I was saying, that capstone is more like is like a stepping stone. So first of all, people who are not in analytics, for them it would be like adding analytics experience on their resume, and for others it would be more towards demonstrating what they have learned in the program. So what exactly its capstone is all about? So we are here to study the concepts and the methodologies that we will be that those are actually going to be taught in the class, and once we have learned those, it's time to apply those skills which are in the real scenarios. Now the capstone projects could be dummy projects, could be live projects, and I can take some examples like in our class and in the last semester, in the last batch, which actually already passed out. We actually, the students have done projects in very broad areas, starting from crime, starting from marketing, energy, social, and sports sector. So when you talk about capstone as a project, there are no boundaries exactly. So you can go as broad as you want, and you can take the topics of your interest. Now, so that's generally about the capstone project. So it starts sometime around January, and you can take time until April to finish it, to wrap it up. And you will be asked to give a final presentation in a group to your classmates, and definitely your stakeholders before that, and take a sign off on your projects. So that's how the capstone journey starts. And then the topics I talked about, like the topics could be as broad as you can think of, and as interesting as you can make it. So it's all in your hand. The duration, as I said, Jan to April, and but in our case, I can specifically mention about it. Like we started the program way back in August last year, and we started working on our projects just immediately after joining, like October, because one of the lessons learned in our project, in Capstone project, was that because our projects are extremely data oriented, and most of the time getting the data, hold of the data, would take a lot of time. So there were cases where the students started the project in Jan, and it took them 3 months to get the data from the clients, and by the time their final presentation in April was due. So overall, our suggestion would be that if you are able to, if you would really would want to, be successful, and do some interesting capstone project and make a value around you using the skills that you have gained in the program. So we would suggest that start thinking about the idea, the concept, or the area that you would want to work on, just after you join in, like August, September, and by October you should start working to, thinking towards it, and even collecting the data. Because sometime, in our case, we started collecting the data in October and we got it in January and April, and from Jan till April is when we actually worked on the data, and finished our deliverables. So these are more towards the timelines, and what could be a potential, what could be the possible approaches in Capstone. Any prerequisite skills required for the assignments. Again, the suggestions would be that rather than just choosing your friends around whom you are comfortable with, the suggestion would be, so when you're able to finalize the topic of your project, first of all, the teams are well designed by the program. So the program administration is going to define your teams, that these are the 4 people you will work for the whole semester. But given if you have a very interesting project, there could be some exceptions which could be approved, because if you have a reasoning behind it, that okay, I have certain this idea, and for this I need these 5 or 6 unique skills, and I think that this student can add a great value if I bring him to my team. So there could be potential exceptions that you could put forward to the administration and they could approve. But by default, your teams would be made in the beginning of the semester, and you would have to follow that. And annually, the teams would change, like in the first semester and second semester, and you would have to follow that in general. After that, you've asked, like, are there any preferred student organization clubs, or what that you could follow or be a part of? So one of the organization is Informs chapter, which is a very active chapter in analytics and operations research. And so I would recommend that the day you join in the program, you can actually start. You should join the club, Informs Club, which you can join via AuxInc, and start attending the meetings and make use of that. And they also offer a student membership, which is like $39 a year, which is very reasonable. So if you join them, you start getting the benefits and you can explore more at leisure. So one is Informs, and second club is a consulting club, which is actually led by the MBA students. So you can actually join that, and they run a lot of workshop sessions around in the campus, so you could make use of them. The third is a venture group, which actually is more of a startup group in the campus and in like part of WPKD. So our professor Dan Brooks, who is the chair of the program, actually leads that entire club. So given if any of you would be interested in more on the startup side, it would be good to speak with Professor Dan Brooks and ask him that if you could participate or contribute in the venture group. And then what we would recommend besides these things would be some of the areas really helped us a lot, and that you can also think about. One would be meetups. So I don't know how many of you heard of it. Meetups are like some social groups, unknown groups, which actually come together, who share an interest in terms of learning together. So there are a lot of technical meetups around analytics that happens here in Arizona. So you should definitely start joining meetups and start learning what's going around. And and also at the same time, conferences is another mode. So if you can start planning your conferences, because there are some enough budgets available that you could apply and make use of. And are there any other things? Yeah.
So
Yeah, go ahead, Aishi.
to add on, you have ambassadors, the WPC MSBA ambassadors. So you can join the ambassador program. They are really great to, if you want to connect with people, and then you can talk to the future students. That is one. And then you have student advisory board, where you can be a part of that council, and you can give recommendations and work with the college community.
Yeah.
So these two also you should look upon, and you can work with the school itself.
Yeah, and I think how this would add in the long run would be that when you have a resume, like so the example that you're like 100 students, and if, for example, while I'm sure that you all are unique in one or other way, but when it comes to demonstrating leadership in your resume, so ambassadors is a great way. So for example, me and Ayushi, we were ambassadors for the program, and I'm sure many of you would have connected with us during making a decision to join the program. And for example, Shaunak is a student advisory board, so he helps the program in a way like how it should be restructured, what could be the improvements. So these are two very well established organizations which can give you an opportunity to network with other programs, because when you are part of these organizations, you actually network across MBA and different other programs which comes in the purview of business school, and at the same time also demonstrate your leadership skills.
Yeah. Thank you, Neeraj. So the next question from Vivek Singh was, what are the first few things, apart from settling down, we must do to get the ball rolling for us? Any recommended books we could carry from India? How to get the internships, and any general suggestions or to-dos?
Right, so I'll
Ayushi,
take
can you
that
answer?
up.
Yeah.
So the to-do things, the first few things. First, I would say, as Neeraj suggested, join these groups. They are really helpful for to interact with people and get to know others. And second would be the fun part. So you get a lot of free stuff, and there are a lot of free events when you join the school. So let's say in August, September till January, you have the Passport to ASU program, and then different socials, ice cream socials, where you can meet people, and then you can collect a lot of free stuff. So my room is filled with a lot of free stuff, free goodies from ASU. So that is one that you should look upon, and just keep a track of the free events happening in the school, so that you know more people and collect a lot of stuff. So that would be the thing. That is the fun part. Then you've asked any recommended books we should carry from India. So yeah, so you will get a list of books once you get enrolled into the program, and you will get the list of books on your My ASU page. So those books you can look and buy that from India. But keep one thing in mind. So Indian editions or Asian editions are not allowed here in USA. So you should keep in mind that you buy only the US editions of the textbooks, because other editions are not allowed. So it's beneficial that you buy as many books from India, because it's going to be very costly here. So you can buy it easily on Amazon or Flipkart.
People have got Kindle versions also.
Yeah, people have also got Kindle versions. You can get online books if you want. It's your choice, whatever you want to do. So how to get interns, if any? So for internship, not many students were doing internship during the program, but some of them did. So you have to come here and then you have to start searching for internships through companies' websites. Then there are career fairs where some companies come just to take interns. So you can connect with them, ask them, and you can get the internship. I would suggest that do your internship only if you are sure that you can manage between both your classes and internship, because 9 months are going to be hectic. So just see if you can do it. For me, I would suggest don't do an internship if you have some experience in analytics.
Yeah. So to add to the internship bit, actually internships are not a part of our curriculum. So what you need to do is go through the engineering department, and there is something called EIP program. So that is something you can only figure out only when you come here. So some of the students figured that out in the second semester, and they found that route to do the internship and do internship only on the days when like classes are not there. So maybe you can come and talk to the career coaches and figure that out. Yeah, actually, you can get it.
Yeah, and actually you don't get much time to do the internship here.
So all of you are surely quite curious about the placements and the jobs. So the another question from Mohit Tiwari was about, job scenario for people who do not have any relevant work experience. So I think he's not there in the call, but he had sent me an email with the same question. So the question was, I understand the relevant work experience is helpful, but could you comment on people who do not have relevant work experience? Where do they end up? I am concerned as I only have training in statistical tool R and DB knowledge. Efforts will be required, no doubt, but are the companies interested in trained resources apart from experienced? Uh, and will there be seniors present who could help on the day or of arrival for incoming students? Thanks. So to answer the last question about will there be any seniors to help you? So there is this ISA, Indian Students Association, who help you on the day of arrival. When you come here, they pick you up. So you need to contact ISA on Facebook or maybe Gmail. They have a like page on the website of ASU. If you just search ISA ASU, you'll find that, and then they will pick you up. That will be free, and they will drop you to either your new apartment or to a temporary accommodation that they provide. But that's surely, like there'll be 10 or 20 students staying in the same apartment, so you might want to book your apartment before coming here. That would be really helpful. Coming back to the placements question, so if you have, like, some of you I know have relevant work experience for sure, so they will find it a bit easier to find the jobs, because when you send your application, you will already have SAS or SQL on your resume, and then you will have a couple of projects. But if you do not have, I recommend, like, if you can do some SQL training, some SAS certification, or R or Python courses on Coursera, or there are Edureka, and then, so some of the websites, if you can get a certification in that, and if you have a project, like, you can go to Kaggle or any other websites and try your hands on the data, so that you have at least one or two projects on your resume. Because when you come here, you in the first semester you have only courses, and it is going to be hectic. The capstone project is only in the second semester, so you do not have so much time to add a significant project on your resume. So, and when we go for interviews, what we saw was they keep asking you if you have any modeling project that you've done already. They do want it done in the professional life, but it's okay if you do some of the Kaggle or cloud analytics kind of projects from the competition websites. So that will be really helpful. So, like, you still have a couple of months, so you might want to have some hands-on experience on any of those tools, like starting from SQL, SAS, R, and if somebody wants to get into, like, core data science, then you can actually go for Python or Java. But for like, minimum requirements are SQL, SAS, R, and Tableau if you already know it. Otherwise, it will be covered in like one of the courses. So I hope that answers the question. So the next question is about do this is about H1. So some students are already worried about the visa status. So do companies apply for H1 before course completion? So Neeraj has a lot of knowledge in this, and Neeraj can answer about the visa status and how it works in short.
Yeah. Okay. So I think it's a very subjective question, and it would definitely depend on your case to case basis. So one thing I can help you understand is the day one you onboard the program, the hiring begins. So the every person you talk, the day one you're in the program, either you have been being interviewed or you are actually networking with the person for future prospects of getting employed with the help of that person. So the day when you onboard the program, don't be surprised that people if tell you that, okay, hey, tomorrow this company is coming, are you attending the interview? You might be shocked, but that's a reality because they interview you assuming that you are going to study MS in business analytics, and they already know the quality of students coming out of the program. So don't be surprised and just go for it. Now, would you get like H1 before the course completion? Yes, if for example, if you're selected much before while being in the program, there are companies who would file your application in the next year because you're already in a 9-month program, and by the time you're graduating, your application is already there for the next year lottery. So there are few cases which are there, but majority of the students I think would be applying for H1 in the next cycle. And so I think that's the reality on the ground to answer the H1 question.
Yeah.
You want to say anything? Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, I think that's it.
That's
I
it,
mean,
that's
you come on F1 student visa, then you start your OPT for 12 months and then 17 months of extension. And then in between, you get 2 or 3 chances depending on when you get the job. So as Neeraj said, if you get a job in the first semester, you can apply for the H1. I mean, depending again on the employer, if they want to apply for your H1 before you actually join the job. So there are like Deloitte and PwC, we know that they applied for H1, and 2 of the students already got their H1 visa selected in the lottery process. So the next question is about, again, back to jobs. How is the job scenario? It's a very open-ended and generic question, but of course, all of you want to hear that. So Ayushi, can you just take that up?
Yeah. So, well, job scenario is pretty good right now over here. So we are around 27 Indians, and out of that, more than half have got the jobs. And the companies, before companies, I would tell you, there are 3 kind of roles that people are getting into. One is the data analyst or the business analyst role. The other is the data scientist role, and the third one is the consultant roles. So for analyst, you get into companies like Apple, AIG, Walmart, FBI, and like for data scientist role, like Shaunak will be joining Honeywell as a data scientist, so you have those opportunities. And then many students have joined PwC, Deloitte as consultants. Apart from that, people have got offer from IBM, Walmart, FBI, GM, Petco, Amazon, Capital One. So these are some of the companies which students are joining, and other students are in the interview process with at least 2 or 3 companies. So I think one suggestion here would be, when you come here, you should come prepared to apply to a lot of companies, and networking and using the college resources is the best way of getting a good job over here. You guys want to add something?
I think there is another question that's somewhere linked, so do you want to take it now?
Which
Because
one?
then I can address this one, the Meedle Khan's question.
Can you?
Yeah. So I think,
Okay.
yeah, you want to read the
No,
question?
you can read.
Okay.
Yeah, so Meenal Khan asked a question about OPT. That is, for an OPT, we need to find employment within 3 months, or we have to return to the country. Is there anyone in the current graduating batch facing this issue? In worst case scenario, is there any work around to show employment hours to avail the OPT? Yeah, Neeraj.
Again, I think we are not immigration experts here, but I think we are just sharing our student experience for this question. So we've actually not seen any worse scenario like this in the last batch or even this batch. So 90 days are quite good enough for find an employment and get started. and there are a lot of backup options which people choose in case there is a worse scenario where people are not able to figure out or find a job. Then there are a lot of consultants who can help you being on their payroll, and yeah, and you can work as a contractor, is what we have seen or heard from students or other batchmates. So that's a scenario on the OPT. So I generally don't see a reason that why anyone would be in a worse scenario, unless we really we don't know what we are heading for in this program. So that's to look at the question number one. And what advice I think for the new admits, I think this is an extension to what Ayushi said. Uh, I think one of my suggestions would be that as you join the program, you'll be really hectic because there are going to be 100 things been bounced on your head, and you will not know where to go. So I think the time management would be the key at that time, because you will have too many things is what you will realize. So I would say, now as you have enough time at hand before you join the program, so first thing that you can do is you can actually, from in addition to the list I actually shared, I think start working on your resume, because that takes a lot of time. I realized that when we started working on our resumes in August, it took us like 2 to 3 months to come up with a final, like one version which we were really comfortable with. So I would say resume is one, that like a one-page resume if you have like a less than 10 years experience, and two if you have like more than 2 years experience. Those are the kind of guidelines that we are given. So resume is one that you should start working now itself. That's one. Second is the LinkedIn profile. Over here, LinkedIn profiles are given extreme importance. So I would say look at our profiles if you have any confusion on how the LinkedIn profiles should be. Like, our profiles are quite updated, all three of ours. So you should, and we have reviewed our profiles with our career coaches and various other experts in this area. So look at our profiles and see what we have mentioned and learn from that, and start updating your LinkedIn profiles. Is the second recommendation I have. Third, in US, how the interview market is different, or interview approach is different, from India, like US and India I'm comparing. So I would say that in US, what we have realized that there's a lot of focus is given on a case in approach, like you're given cases and you're asked to solve them. There is actually a reference which is known as case in point, and if you Google it, you can actually find out a lot of material about it. So the name is case in point, and that's one of the famous approach, one of the very well known approach that is used across all types of interviews. So we started preparing for it while we were already halfway in the program. But while you have a privilege to learn it upfront, that if you can read the book Case in Point and start practicing it now itself, we are sure that you will be in much better state when you start your interviews, when you join the program. So that's on the interviewing approach. Then I think day one, networking begins. You meet people, you add them on LinkedIn. Try to see how you can pursue that as an employment opportunity. Networking is the key in US. That will really help you out, all of you. And then I think what other things, but this is not more on the course front. I would more of a recommendation. But I think another recommendation would be, for example, if my assumption would be that most of you would be joining the program around 8th of August or 6th of August, whereas where your classes would mainly begin on 16th of August sometime, 16th or 20th. So some of the things that really worked for three of us, and there's another batchmate that we are very close friends, is like, first thing you should do, I think, once you settle down, I think try to travel a bit, because that's the best time. Many students did not make use of it, and just being hanging around, not doing anything. So my suggestion would be, try to use this time most effectively while traveling around Arizona and seeing the places around, because once you are in the program, you will not get much time. So one more of a personal recommendation is that starting 8th August till 16th August, working based on your timelines, one, try to travel a bit and explore the places around. That's one. Second is, if any of you would want, I would say this is the best time to get your license done, a driving license, because once you're in the program, you will not get time to sort these administrative things. So I would say two personal recommendations: one, travel; second, get a driving license, because that's going to help you a lot, and you can get like a hourly basis cars over here to drive, which is sometimes going to make your life very simple. So I think I'll take a pause here and we'll move on to next questions.
Yeah.
So next question was from Chidambara Natarajan. What are the key skills required in tech companies for data scientist roles? So as Ayushi said, there are three kinds of roles like data analyst, business analyst, and then data scientist and consulting. So I'm talking mainly about data scientist roles. So the skills are at a higher level. They are divided into three, like statistics, computer science, and then as in statistic programming and business domain. So, I mean, business domain knowledge is something, I mean, depending on your previous experience, you might have some business domain knowledge in any of the industries, like be it retail, online, as an e-commerce, or hospitality, healthcare. So that is again based on your experience. And second is statistics. So statistics is something that will be covered in two of the courses, like be it distributions or regression. But if you already have some experience, you might want to brush that up before coming, because like first in the first semester there will be two courses, which is applied analytics and regression, which will be heavily loaded with statistics. So I mean, you might want to do some basic statistics before coming. And then in terms of programming, as I said before, I mean, interviewers are interested in SQL, SAS, R, and then Python, Java. So if some of you have already mailed us, like you have Java experience, that is on a developer side, and how do you want to portray that? Because here we are talking about data science, which is not so much away from computer science, right? So you can use that Java experience to code in, say, code some MapReduce codes, and then that Java developer programming background can make you a big data developer in the coming future. So apart from the three roles we already mentioned, there is one more role, which is data engineer. So that is like quite heavy in terms of programming. So if some of you have programming background, then you can either go for the data scientist role or the data engineer role, which is more on the architecture or the programming side into analytics. So I think that's what it's covered pretty much.
I think so in addition to what I think Shaunak has mentioned about, so I think even if after hearing the descriptions of different roles which are there, if you still have a doubt around where do you fit in the analytics as an industry or a sector, what role would you play? If you still have doubts about this part, one of the recommendation we would have is there is a book by name Analyzing the Analyzer by O'Reilly. I'll repeat the book name. It's Analyzing the Analyzer by O'Reilly. This is a free copy available. It's like around 40 to 45 pages. Beautiful book, and that would give you a good understanding of what are the kind of roles that exist in analytics area, and what kind of skills does it require. So I would say it would be one of the must-read book that you should go through. It's just 40 pages, so just Google it. You'll find the book free copy. I just did it now, and there is a free copy, so you should read it. That'll be nice.
So in addition to that, what you guys should start doing is start subscribing to analytics magazines. So there is analytics magazine itself, and if you join Informs, you get the free subscription of the OR magazine, so you can read that. Plus, you can read blogs on LinkedIn. There are beautiful blogs written on LinkedIn on analytics. Then there is another blog called iCrunch Data News. There are really good blogs over that. So you should start reading. Then you will find a lot other books on analytics itself, like predictive analytics, then signal and noise. These kind of books are highly recommended. So you have a lot of time before you come to US and join this program. So use that time to read these books and enhance your knowledge. Yeah, enhance your knowledge on analytics.
Yeah. So, I mean, future of analytics is big data and then data mining and heavy machine learning. So, I mean, for you, if these are still Greek and Latin terms, I think you should be doing some of the Coursera courses in data mining or machine learning. I mean, it's a lot of new stuff for sure, but you don't want to be a newbie when you come here. I mean, you want to say that, yes, I know some stuff. So it's better that way. I mean, you're confident on day one and you can start off very well. So do some Coursera courses on data mining and machine learning, and do have some like hands-on experience. It's not enough if you just keep reading you'll forget it later. So make notes or do some hands-on experience.
So for that, you have a website called Kaggle. You get the data set, you get the problem sets over there, so you can get those problems, the data, and you can then do hands-on work on those problems. So you can use that.
Yeah. So the next question was about calculators from Sandhya Ramanathan. What calculators are allowed? Any graphic calculators are they allowed? What books to get? I think books question is answered already. You can Aisha, you can talk about the calculators.
Yeah. So graphic calculators are not allowed here. You can get the scientific calculators from India, the Casio calculators, or the ones from the Texas Instruments. So they are used, and you will be needing them in some of your exams. So you should get the scientific calculators from India. And the books I've already told. You will get the list of books on MySU, and then you can buy the books from India. And to keep in mind the US edition and not the Asian edition.
I mean, after coming, you can surely get soft copies from some students, but of course, if you are fond of hard copies of the book, you can get them from India.
Yeah, and you will get access to the ASU library. So go to the library's website and try to find the books. If you find it here, you can get them issued very easily. So that should not be any concern to you.
Yeah. The next question from Sonal was about study pressure. How is the study pressure there? Should we opt for on-campus jobs? What is the average package that we should expect? The projects undertaken will be individual projects or in group. I think the projects question is again answered when needed. They are all group projects. So we have like half of the assignments are 50, like individual assignments, and half of the assignments are group assignments, and all the projects are group projects. So back to the study part. Study pressure, frankly, I mean, it's not so much. It's not really that hard as you might have heard from any electrical or computer science graduates. I mean, for them, only 3 courses are like so much to handle in a particular semester. But we are doing like 5 courses per semester, and we are still able to do it, given that you have some knowledge before coming here. I mean, for sure you'll be busy. You won't have any time for any club activities or like informal activities so much, but you'll be busy with the course for sure. Like there will be assignments or quizzes every day. We remember on in first semester we had something or the other every day to do at home, back home. I mean, either there'll be a quiz next day or there'll be assignment due, and there'll be other students will be pushing you, like they won't be doing it like last minute like we have been doing in our engineering courses. So the next question was about on-campus jobs. So there are on-campus jobs, and many students have been emailing us about them. So there is nothing that you can do about on-campus jobs from India, because all of us tried applying for a couple of jobs, but we did not get any calls when we're there, because we need to be present in person to attend those interviews, and it is like 90% of it is luck based, I would say. And when you come here, so in the first 15 to 20 days when you have nothing much to do, what you can do is apply for those on-campus jobs. You can just search for on-campus job ASU, and you are allowed to work on campus for 20 hours, and salary ranges from like $8 to $12 per hour. I mean, there are some data related jobs, but there are like only a couple of them. But you need to search for them in the on-campus job website itself. You won't have so much time. We know some of the students who worked on Fridays and Saturdays. You won't get so much time like from Monday to Thursday, depending on when your classes are. Like we didn't have any classes on Fridays. Then what is the average package? Average package again depends a lot on the states, because there is this 22% federal tax across the country, and then there is state tax from 0% to 14% in California. So the average package ranges, say, from $70,000 per year to maybe $120,000 per year, depending on the state, depending on the previous experience, depending on the profile and the company, of course. And there are variable components like relocation, then variable bonus, then shares if there are any for the startups. So I mean, just a number won't make so much sense right now for you guys. You can very well figure that out when you again start applying for the jobs. Uh, the projects, yeah, you answered about the question about the projects. Yeah. So the next question is about courses from other departments. This is regarding courses from other departments. Question from Rohan Gupta. Can courses like machine learning be taken, and how challenging it becomes with respect to dealing with the MSBA course? So Ayushi can talk about it.
So you can take courses from other departments. So there's an option to audit a course where you just go to the class, you take the classes, but you don't have to give the exams or any tests. For that, you need to apply at ASU. You will get the forms here. You have to submit that form and then talk to the professor and get the permission. They can allow you to sit in the class if they have seats available and depending on your interest. So I took a course on big data from computer science department this year, which was really good. So on my ASU itself, you can find classes from different departments. So look out for them and see if you're interested in any of those classes. Then can courses like machine learning be taken? Yeah, definitely. So you have machine learning is one of the subjects that you will be taught in data mining too. So you need not take any extra class for machine learning, but on the other hand, you can take classes from Coursera. Those classes are really good. You get a lot of experience on that. So it's better that you learn from ASU as well as Coursera, because machine learning is a subject which is really, really required for MSBA. It does become challenging when you deal with the MSBA and the extra classes, but it depends on your interests and how much you want to learn. For us, for me, taking that class was really good, and I was able to manage between my classes. So that shouldn't be an issue for you.
Yeah,
there's a follow-up question.
Okay, so Rohan is asking, what are the courses apart from machine learning we can take, and any prerequisites required for these courses? So apart from machine learning, you can take the big data courses from the computer science department. You have, there's a statistics course that you can take from other department. What was that course? That R, where they taught R?
That was from, I'm not sure, but that was from the information systems department.
Right. So from information systems department, there's a course where you do statistics in R language, so you can take that course. Then there are some courses available in finance, you can take that. And then there was a sports analytics course offered by other department. So these are some of the courses taken by students from our class.
Yeah, I think I wanted to add up. So I think this, so this place being, been taking an intake of around I think 80,000 students, being one of the institution which has largest number of students. So honestly, if you know the area you want to develop and you want to take a course, most probably the course is going to be available. It's just that you would have to know what you're looking for. So and I think another part is on prerequisite. You definitely would have to maintain a decent grades, like a reasonable grades, so that the administration allows you to attend or audit these courses outside. Okay, so I think audit, maybe actually you want to ask. Okay.
So by auditing, I mean you can sit in the class and go to the lectures, but you do not need to take the exams or any of the tests.
Your mark sheet doesn't come.
Aditya is asking, audit means you will not get any credits. Yeah, you don't get any credits for that. You just attend those classes.
Yeah. So you get an A for attended and not as a credit. So yeah, so I mean, to add to that, what we missed in the first semester was we did not know if we can attend those classes. So we went to the big data computing class only in the second semester. So what you guys can do is, while you're back in India, you can start looking up for the courses. It's somewhere in the MySU, there is this courses, and then you can search for links. So 3 departments basically would be really helpful for you to get such courses, like information systems, which is part of WP, like the business school. Then the supply chain department, which might have some courses on finance or consulting or operations research. And then there is computer science department, where you can just sit and go and talk to the professor, and he'll just allow you to sit through the classes.
Right. For the follow-up question by Rohan, will you be paying extra bucks for all these courses even though we are auditing them? So see, some of these classes are free. You need not pay anything. So you will have to check while you enroll into that class whether it's a free class or do you have to pay. So of course you're not gonna, I mean, like, depends on your interest, but you will look for the free classes. And most of them are free.
Yeah. So one of the announcements made in the class was after we finish 30 credits, we can attend courses in ASU. So you need to, but as Ayushi said, you need to check with the professor or the on the website or with the department if you can attend this class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it, right. So the next question is about again placements, jobs. How influential is the ASU MSBA course to the potential employers? So being on the both sides of the recruiting, I think Neeraj can be the best person to answer this question. So Neeraj has been working with IBM for 10 years and now he might be potentially. This is the
question by
influential is
Sagar.
the
Question by
Okay,
Sagar, yeah.
Okay. So as I was saying, like, the day one when you actually join the program, the recruitment begins and you start getting interviewed because and in one of the example that I can mention that I think sometime in the month of October or November, we had the first placement in Amazon while we didn't even start the program, honestly by that time, like it's just like a first or second month. So yeah, it's first of all, so the recruiters knows about the program and the curriculum through, and so they will interview you in the starting day one when you onboard the program based on the curriculum and based on your past experience or on the behavioral side of it, and they will definitely not ask you the core concepts of analytics because they know you are here to study, but if you have experience they might quiz you on that as well. So how influential? So I think, yeah, so the demand is definitely is growing, as you all know, and that's why I'm sure you all are joining the program. I think some of the placement statistics can tell you a lot about it. So for example, Aishi is joining in a great company, Sean is joining a great company, and there are some very good placements happening around. So the market is picking up, and I'm sure that once your alumni network is in some good place, is placed well, so you should, while definitely there is a career services department which actually organizes a lot of placement kind of the career, the interviews, the companies keep coming here, but at the same time you should definitely rely heavily on your alumni group as well. And we actually have a LinkedIn group for the MSBA program, so we will type the ID in sometime in this group chat. So maybe I think what you all can do is you can join the LinkedIn group, which is only created for the MSBA students and the faculty, and I think there are around I think good number of alumni are already part of this group. So you can look at their profiles and see where all they are placed and even try to communicate with them. So I think to summarize how influential, I think placements are talking well enough for how influential this program is. And if you know what you want to do, you'll get it. So it's not that difficult over here. I think if Sean, you want to talk about anything else on this point? You good?
I think we're good.
Yeah, okay. So let's move on.
So the next question from Aditi was about the internship opportunity and other interview processes. So I'll take that up. We would like to learn more about the ideal process to be followed to earn an internship opportunity and the ideal time to begin working on that. Also, it would be great if you could discuss with us on the interview process and the questions we should expect in general. Right. So this is an important question, of course. So about the internship, I'll tell what happened with our batch. So all of us, frankly, did not know that we can go for an internship as part of the course. So none of us tried for an internship in the first semester, and then in the second semester, some of the students tried to find some time out of the classes and and they tried, as in they did an internship through the semester. That way they got some experience to put on the resume. So ideal time, I'm not sure in the first semester if you will be able to do it because the course content is going to be hectic, but you can still give it a try. But make sure like you talk to the career coaches before you take any step because they will refine your resumes, LinkedIn profiles, cover letters. So here the application processes are not just like what we do back there, like just forward a resume and you go to get a job. It's not that easy. You need to really have a very refined resume and get it checked by the career coaches. So same goes for internship or any other, even the part-time jobs. You need to really have a targeted resume and a cover letter. So do not have a generic cover letter for all the companies, not even for the part-time jobs. So part-time jobs, whoever got selected for the part-time jobs, they really had a targeted cover letter. Like if it is a role of a librarian, you need to say that you had some librarian experience back in your undergrad. Only then you might get that job. Otherwise, you cannot expect really. So the next question is about interview processes. In general, what questions you might expect? So the interview experience, like for all of us, have been quite hectic for the companies which selected us or not did not select us. So there is first recruiting, like around from the recruiter. He will ask you general questions about your experience and the salary expectations and the location that you're preferring, or if he has a preference already in mind for the location. And then he will set you up, set your interview with the hiring manager, and then you might have one or two rounds for that. And then you might have technical rounds on call or on Skype or link or in person at the headquarters or the any other office where they are trying to recruit you. So I mean, you can expect anywhere between 4 to 10 or 14 to 20 rounds. I mean, on an average, you might have 4 to 6 rounds, I would say, and you need to be really, really patient. Ask Neeraj about it. And so
I just want to mention. So I think so broadly, just to summarize, I think what Sean is saying. So the interview process starts with the screening, and that's like in and out. So a screener would call you and just talk to you about the role and the resume. And if he thinks that, or he or she thinks you are a fit, then your interview process really begins. So first is screening. Second would be like on-phone technical interviews in general, where they will assess whether they should pursue or not. And once you are done with the technical interviews, that's when your on-site interview comes in. And in on-site, there could be some series of rounds, and those would be first technical. And then if you're done with the technical, then again the final behavioral would come into play. And the on-site technical would generally, as I mentioned, that it's all would be like case in, would be the case in, as I was telling, is one of the approach that's very well followed in US. So we none of us can get away with that approach. So we should start reading about case in immediately is what I would recommend.
Yeah. So I mean, you have technical and behavioral and case rounds. So for behavioral rounds, you can talk to the career coaches. For technical rounds, you need to prepare yourself, and for case interviews, you need to really practice. I mean, they're not that straightforward. You can read the book Case in Point, as Neeraj said, or you can practice them online.
And also, I think stay connected with your alumni group, and I think Glassdoor is another good reference where you can know the kind of questions. For example, let's say you get an interview call from the company A. So in Glassdoor that what kind of the questions which were asked, and plus you can also ask the alumni group, hey, anyone was interviewed, and maybe you can seek some guidance, or maybe ask for a mock interview, and that could help you prepare. So so you have to rely on the resources you have around you.
Right. So then another question was asked about, could you please share some of your interview experience? What sort of areas were they questioning? Were you asked to do any code snippets? I heard one of you guys attended Apple, and could you share more information about the interview experience? So as I mentioned, the three kind of roles. So if you are into consulting position, if you're getting interviewed for that, you will be asked case-based questions. So as we mentioned, you should read that book Case in Point. So you will be given different business scenarios, and you will be asked. So let's say one case was around the product launch. So they'll ask you that, hey, I'm going to launch this product in the market. What is the first thing that you're going to look at? So they'll give you some numbers. They'll ask you to do some calculations, calculating the break-even, profit and loss, those kind of questions. And then like questions like, how will you present this thing to your clients or anything. So for consulting role, you get the case-based questions. Then for the data analyst, business analyst, or the data scientist role, you have technical rounds, which includes programming as well as statistical knowledge. So I attended Apple interview, and I'm joining Apple next week. So I had around 8 rounds of interviews, 2 on-site and rest were on telephone. So yes, I was asked to write codes in Java, in R, in SQL, and then I was asked about Tableau and visualizations. So if you are into the developer role or the data analyst role, you should expect that you will be asked to write codes. So some of my friends who joined companies like Facebook, they were asked to do Python coding and coding in SAS. They'll ask you all those codes. Anything else that you guys want to add?
Yeah, so other like my interview for Honeywell went like they came to campus and I had first 2 rounds on campus with the hiring manager and the HR, and then they had two more on-site interviews where they asked about the previous work experience projects and some of our and that was with two of the analytics managers. So I mean that was not really not really behavioral, not really technical. I mean they had mix of all. So you need to be really prepared as to what you want to answer. So and there is no set of I mean like fixed set of questions or a rule that they follow, but for the consulting companies they do have set process, as Ayushi said, like for case interviews they know what rounds they're going to have, even the day and the time and the locations. They have fixed interviews, so when you actually get those interview calls you can contact any of the seniors who had similar rounds, and you can find out what kind of questions were asked.
Right. And you should take the behavioral rounds seriously. Behavioral rounds are not that easy. They may grill you on questions. They'll ask a lot of follow-up questions. So behavioral rounds are also very important in addition to the technical rounds. And of course, to clear the technical round, you have to be really good in programming and statistical knowledge.
So the next question from Ridhima was about considering the non-analytics background of most of the admitted students. Will this program prepare us for a challenging role as that of a data scientist or any other? And then can you share the data or skill set of students and the roles that they have got into after securing job? So like Neeraj was like Ayushi and I are from we have worked with Mu Sigma, and Neeraj has worked with IBM with a different role, which is not exactly into analytics. So maybe Neeraj can tell how this course has helped him for his future role.
Okay, sure. So I think so to answer this or to share a point of view on this. So I see I think a broad mix of students in the class. So one who would be really technical, and another would be definitely non-technical. And I would term myself like a non-technical, I would say, when I joined the program. So I think and that might give some relief to people who are in the chat and who are definitely not very technical. So don't be scared at all about joining the program if you don't know programming. If you have done coding like many years ago, or you don't have no clue about it, C, Java, or other stuff, so you will be able to survive, because I have survived so far, and you can see me here. I've graduated. So I would say it depends on first of all how this course is going to prepare you would be about your goals. And I would say some of the mistakes and some of the lessons learned, I would say that you should not repeat, and you should rather try to look at it in that way. I would say for people who are non-technical, don't let this thought trouble you, because what happens if you come up with the thought process that you don't know programming, you're not technical, and if you stick with the thought process, you're going to be troubled forever. So what I would say, it took me some time to break that thought and pursue myself towards becoming technical. And if you're coming for a MS program, and not like a MBA program, and it's itself is a STEM program, that means it's a technical program. So I would say when you're joining this, if you have a management experience like I had like in the last 10 years, forget about it. I would say at least for the time being you are in the program, try to go with the flow. What you have been taught in the program, even if it's technical, it requires some kind of coding or some kind of new learning, just go for it. Don't stop yourself because you don't know about it. Maybe you might have to put extra effort, but just take it as a journey and pursue that. And that would be one of the recommendation I would have. Second is that when you are looking for a career, don't restrict yourself to a management position or a management career, because that will limit your options. I would say, jump into technical roles, because the time you start interviewing, that will tell you what kind of skills do you really need to develop. So in a way, like in India, it works like, hey, even if you know a little technical, we might survive, but here you really need the hands-on if you want to pursue even a management career in analytics. So I would say, I think my recommendation, being on the non-techie side and now getting into techie side, I would say that one, first of all, I think break the boundaries in terms of you not being a technical person when you're joining the program, and jump on and learn everything from everyone. So for example, if you don't know you don't know the areas, sit with someone in the group or with other students, who are good at that, learn from them, spend extra time. That'll be worth it. That's first. Second, when you're applying for jobs, keep your options open even when it comes to technical jobs, whether it's data scientists or others, because what you'll take it from the program would be what you're going to put in. I think that's a simple way I would summarize this thought.
Nice. Next question from Gaurav Jeet was about what are the most common profiles offered, how to prepare for the most sought after skills. So apart from the profiles we already mentioned, like data analyst, business analyst, data scientist, data engineer, big data developer, then consultant, there are other profiles like business intelligence analyst, business intelligence consultant, marketing technologist, then engagement manager, quality engineer, quality advisor, senior quality advisor. So you have lot like then there was this what was it, logistics analyst. From so DHL has internship opportunities for logistics analyst. So there are multiple areas wherein you can get into. So I mean, build on your previous profile, and as Neeraj said, even if you're not technical person, get into technical stuffs and then add that to your profile. And there are multiple areas wherein even companies do not know, like where analytics can be applied. So they are just starting to use. There was a construction company coming here, like I think Crane, who hired one or two students from our batch just to do analytics stuff. So even companies are still exploring like where to apply analytics. And then the next question was from Pankaj Singh, to focus more on technical aspects, coding, etc., on statistics. Particular business domain knowledge is that required. So Ayushi, having some kind of Java experience previously, I think she can answer the question best.
So you need to understand that this course is a mix of both technical and business knowledge. So you have to focus on both, but depending on your interest, what you want to be. If you want to go into the consulting role, then you should focus more on the business development side. And if you are into the data developer or the data scientist or the analyst role, then you should focus more on the technical aspects. So for technical aspects, that will include programming as well as knowledge of statistics that you're going to learn here. And for business knowledge, you have a subject called business analytics strategy, which is taken up. And there we learned through case studies. The professor took case studies from 4 different industries like the casinos, the entertainment, healthcare sector, airlines, etc. So you have a really good business domain knowledge if you learned all that in that subject. So, so it depends on your interest, what you want to focus more on, but you are going to learn both here in this course.
Next question from Stevie was about how many courses can we select per semester? Do we get an option of electives? I assume we have 3 semesters, so that's wrong. We have 2 semesters. Any particular teaching format followed by the professors, weekly assignment, test, etc.? Ayushi, can you take that?
So we have 2 semesters, and you have 5 courses per semester. About the electives, there are no specific electives assigned for this course, but as we mentioned earlier, you can take courses from other departments that we have already talked about. Particular teaching format, so every professor has a different teaching format. So some professors will ask you to do a lot of reading before the class, and they'll discuss those readings in the class. Some of them will ask you to read the book. They'll teach some portion of the book in the class, and then you will be asked to read the other part and do the assignments. And we had a lot of weekly assignments and quizzes each week, and then you have final exams. But one thing is there, that it's not like you have to study everything at the end and you can get good marks while studying everything at the end. So this is like daily assessment. You have to perform every day in the class. You have to participate in the class because you have marks for class participation, and then you have to work every week, every day to get a good score.
Yeah. So the electives part, I mean, we did not have any electives, but I think you have this operations research elective, so you guys need to figure that out. So the next question from Shruti was, any problems or suggestions you would like to share about the university or the program, which if implemented would have helped in any way? So I mean, this being just the third year of the program, they did need some improvements. So there were some suggestions from the first year of the program. We were in touch with we are in touch with the seniors of the program, and then we surely see some improvement in the program. And then we also had some suggestions like we need to have separate analytics like career fair, because we are pulled into supply chain career fair, then information systems career fair, then engineering career fair. So we need to really go and then figure out which company or option is right for us, and then we need to see if they really are going to sponsor our H1B visa. So it becomes quite kind of irritating at times, because you just go there to find out they do not sponsor H1B. But you should not depend only on the career fairs. That's what we figured out. So though we gave a suggestion to have a separate career fair, I'm not sure if they're going to have it from this year or maybe next year. And then other suggestion, that improvement that we had for you guys is, we gave a strong feedback for one of the data mining courses, and that professor might be changed for you guys. So I mean, you need to be, I mean, you can be happy about it. Like you can have better professor for the same course. And then there was a question from Chiranjeevi. I agree that projects are very much important, especially for the job part, but everyone is mentioning of having basic knowledge of R, SAS, and SQL as prerequisite to the program. My concern is having just the basic knowledge from free self-study. Would that suffice, or someone needs to complete certification courses offered by Coursera or other sites on chargeable basis, at least to show up something on resume? Interesting question. So to answer the first part of the question, see, it's like you're getting into analytics, you're getting into a big sea of knowledge, which is not limited to 9 months of courses. I mean, 10 courses are not enough to remain in the industry for next 10 years, right? I mean, this course can get you a job for sure in US, but if you want to sustain, you need to learn continuously. So why instead of why not study before the course starts than studying after like complete the course and then start looking for the jobs? So if you want a better job, have more skills related to analytics. That's what our suggestion would be. Like, having these skills before and on your resume will make your resume look richer, and you will fetch a better job. I mean, you're putting in like 35 lakhs on for the course, so of course you want the best job in the industry. Then have these courses, because analytics, I mean, they are not going to give you a job just based on SQL and Excel. So I mean, that can be done by undergrad student as well. So if you are a master's in analytics student, then of course you are expected to know a lot if you want a like really good job. Neeraj, you want to add something?
I think at one of the time, I think I was actually speaking with Professor Dan Brooks, who is a program chair, and I think he explained it very beautifully. He mentioned about, I asked him, so, what's this program about? And his point of view was that this 9 months program is definitely giving us a toolkit to use in the market. But now, if you look at any problem that we are given in the industry or by the clients to solve, the 40-50% max would be more on analytics, and 50% would be more of an industry knowledge that would come with experience. So yeah, definitely people who are experienced enough it would be an opportunity to build on the experience and make a layer of analytics. And people who are entering the analytics industry, it would be to hold the toolkit, gain it, and after the program is when you should start specializing in the industry or in certain domain or area where you would learn how to read the data. So you have the toolkit, you know how to mine the data, you know how to make some good graphs, but there has to be an expertise to read the data. So it will be like people who are experienced uh, would be able to build like an analytics layer on top of their experience and go forward. People who are on the fresher or lesser experience side, they will be able to build the toolkit, and the next step for them would be to build an expertise on top of that to read the data and make some sense out of that for the client. So I think that's broadly I would explain this point as.
Yeah. So then next sub part of the same question was about my concern is if basic knowledge is sufficient or should we have a certification. So it's again back to the experience, relevant work experience. If you have work experience, you do not need a certification. But if you do not have experience, there are some freshers in the course like straight from the undergrad program, and they are frankly finding it really difficult to find a job or even to get an interview. So for them, for such students, from even from your class, I'm sure there are undergrads from 2015 batch. For them, my suggestion would be to have SAS certification or some Coursera certifications from from Coursera again, that will have at least some strong resume or the profile to attract the as in the companies, because you are going to compete with all the other students, not just ASU. So unlike undergrad placement what we have, these are, your competition is not just with the class that, this 50 students. This competition is not limited to this 50 students. The competition is at a national level, at a US level, and you are competing with Indian, Chinese, and American students, which are, the American students have an advantage of they already are citizens. So you have a limited set of jobs. Again, in that you have competitions from the people who have relevant work experience. Then if you really want to still get a job, good job, then you want to put in some efforts before coming in and even after coming in. So it's not, we are not trying to frighten you as such, but you really, if you are already into analytics like MSBA, then I think you, instead of trying to find out if it is going to be fine to get into the program without experience, rather you should start working on the skills. That's what my suggestion would be.
Right. So there's a question by Sonal which is similar to this, where she's asking what should be the preparation from a student who is newbie to this course and has no experience as such in analytics, and how is the job scenario for such students. So as mentioned by Shaunak, you should start preparing yourself for interviews, for gaining those skills. So you should have, if you don't have any experience in analytics or you don't have any relevant project, then you should take up some projects from maybe Kaggle or maybe from doing Coursera courses, and you should have at least 2 good projects that you can put on your resume. Because one would be your capstone project, but as capstone starts in the second semester, but your interviews may start in the first semester or earlier before you finish your capstone. So that will not help you much in the earlier stage if you have any interviews in the first semester. So you should take up some projects. You can start finding out some projects right away, or you can start doing it in your first semester so that you can put that in your resume. And for jobs, see, jobs are not very easy. See, again, we are not frightening you, but you will have to work really hard to secure a good job. You will get a job here, but good job is, for that you will have to work. So next she's asking, should we be on campus jobs? Should we take any campus jobs, or is the course very rigorous? Yes, the course is very rigorous. If you want to learn a lot, then you'll have to put a lot of time in studies. On campus job you can take, but you should make sure that you are able to manage between your course and the jobs, because you'll have to work like 8 hours a week. So depends if you can manage it. Then if yes, we can work on campus, then we start applying from now on. So I think this is already answered, but I'll just repeat that. So you come here and come to ASU, and then you go to the link which is there on my ASU website. You can find the jobs and then you can apply.
Yeah. So we're done with most of the questions. Final question from Sonal Deshmukh is about resumes and a template to share of what a resume should look like as per American standards. Of course, the resume is different from what we follow back in India. But Neeraj, being an expert on resumes, can throw a light like how it is different and how like they want to
Yeah.
work on that.
So I would recommend that. I think once you have access to MySU, and there is a career section, and there are a lot of resume templates are there. But general guidelines are that people who have less than 10 years experience, has to be less than like a one-page resume, and more than 10, yeah, you can go up to two, but still the recommended could be one page. One page would be great. Now the resume templates. So I don't know how many of you have already access to MySU. In MySU, there is a career section where you can find a lot of resume templates over there, and they are like that you could follow. And anyways, if once you join here, the career coaches are going to help you with your resume. But I would say one page is the key, and in MySU page, there are resume templates are already available, different sort of templates that you could follow.
Yeah, that's it, guys, from us. I hope this was really helpful, and some of you might have made notes. And we will be sharing this link so that whoever could not join can watch the video and gain some knowledge back. And thank you all for joining. Thanks for your time. Ayushi, you want to have concluding remarks?
So do you guys have any comments? Anything else that you want to know really quick? So you can answer,
put in comments.
Or maybe you can speak and let us know.
You all can join us on LinkedIn, and then if you have any follow-up questions, you can send us, and we will take some time maybe to get back because we'll start getting busy.
Great, I think great. I think we all are set. So thank you very much for joining the session, and we wish you all the best. And it's gonna be an exciting journey, we promise you. And feel free to reach out to us and other students if you get stuck anywhere or if you need help. Thank you and all the best. Yeah. Bye.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.